Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. You all look so beautiful and amazing. We came out for a special occasion, so thank you for being here. I'm your mistress of ceremonies. My name is Tracy Potts. By day, I'm a television producer with MTV, and all day, I am the PR chair for the National Association of Black Journalists. So I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you. Right, thank you. Today's theme is present, past, and future. We will hear from speakers in 3 phases. Carl B. Stokes' work from the past, his legacy is beginning to continue in the present, and how his legacy will continue to live in the future. I want to first bring up the beautiful and talented Miss Fatima Harris. She is a communication strategist. Let's give her a beautiful round of applause.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fatima Harris, and I work in the mayor's office as a communication strategist. On behalf of the city of Cleveland, I am proud to welcome you to the city's first ever Carl B. Stokes Day. And I am proud to announce that will be officially observed every June 30th in the city of Cleveland. Carl B. Stokes set the blueprint for what it means to be a true civic leader. He wasn't just the first Black mayor of a major American city. He was a visionary far ahead of his time. He made groundbreaking strides towards environmental justice, equitable contracting, and opening doors and opportunities for minorities. There's one story that I'd like to share with everyone here today, one that stands as a defining moment in his leadership. In 1968, following the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., cities across the country were erupting in grief, anger, and unrest. Mayor Stokes knew this couldn't happen in Cleveland next. He took swift action. He brought together a group of Black officials and community leaders, what became known as a peace patrol. That night, Stokes personally walked through every one of Cleveland's neighborhoods alongside clergymen, athletes, street clubs, and militants, and everyday residents, urging calm, encouraging unity, and honoring the principles of nonviolence that Dr. King stood for. Together, they helped keep Cleveland from experiencing the destruction that many cities face across America. His leadership during that moment of national pain was widely recognized, not just by Black residents, but by white residents as well. It was a testament to his character, his commitment, and the kind of remarkable public service leader that he was. As we honor the vision and legacy that was so beautifully expressed in the life of Carl B. Stokes, I encourage each of you to reflect on what his legacy means to you. How will his legacy shape your work, your voice, and your purpose? What legacy will you leave? Let today be a moment of both celebration and reflection, a chance to recognize his extraordinary impacts and to recommit ourselves to the work of equity, justice, and opportunity for all. Thank you. Enjoy today's program.
Thank you, Fatima. Okay, you may not know Joyce Roller from her work as the Gordon Square Park, the Gordon Square Art District, Global Cleveland, or Caramel House, but you probably don't know that she spent 20 years in television production as a writer, producer, and director, working from LA to New York. She's now fulfilling her dream in producing a documentary film called It's the Stokes Dilemma, the film that brings her love of history, social justice, and Cleveland all together. She is here now to share her exciting project with you.
Thank you, Tracy. And thank you, Mayor Bibb, Council President Griffin, Cordell and the Stokes family, and Bob Render, for the honor of presenting a sneak peek of Stokes Dilemma, the film I'm producing about Carl B. Stokes. Now, I'm not originally from Cleveland, so you might wonder, why devote so much time and energy to a Cleveland mayor from the 1960s? There are a few reasons. After spending 20 years in television production before moving here, I felt I had a film in me, but it had to be something meaningful, something that mattered, not just to me, but to others as well. I also wanted to better understand how Cleveland, the city I've come to love, became the place it is today. And I knew that great films are about compelling characters. I asked myself, who is one of the most remarkable, consequential figures in Cleveland history? The answer is Carl Stokes. At a time when the nation was roiling from Vietnam War protests and civil rights injustices, Carl Stokes courageously stepped forward to do something no black man had ever done. He won direct control of the government of a predominantly white city. The grandson of a slave, he challenged and defeated the grandson of a president. His 1967 election was a milestone, not just for Cleveland, but for the nation. It was a breakthrough, a moment of real hope in American urban life. But it was also a moment of immense pressure because the problems Black Clevelanders faced, inequity, frustration, and the sense of being policed rather than protected, didn't vanish when he took office. Carl Stokes found himself in the middle, navigating enormous expectations and systemic resistance. Our film is both a tribute and an exploration, lifting up Carl Stokes, giving him the recognition he has long deserved, and examining his and Cleveland's place in the broader civil rights movement. Because if we don't understand Carl Stokes' story, we can't fully grasp the roots of the ongoing distrust between Black communities and law enforcement. We can't understand why, after decades of Black political leadership in cities across America, the struggles for injustice, safety, and opportunity still feel unfinished. In this moment, when division and hate are once again on the rise, it's time to remember and celebrate Carl Stokes. And I commend Mayor Bibb for doing that exactly today. The film that I'm producing is not finished. We're deep into post-production and fundraising, and with a release planned in 2026. But today, it's my privilege to share with you the very first look at the trailer of the film Stokes' Dilemma. And I had a clicker and I don't see it now.
He was always connected to the streets. He was very connected to the Black nationalists and many others.
We're going to have a town that is going to stand as a beacon and as a symbol of equality of opportunity for everybody.
Cleveland in the 1960s, it was a place of change.
In Cleveland in particular, they had one of the largest urban renewal projects, which was disastrous.
Blocks would still have families, and the next block would have the wrecking crew tearing down the houses.
Black folks on top of each other.
My cousin woke up from a rat bite.
People starving, people stealing, people fighting.
I can't believe how much happened in such a short period of time that was compressed into this powder keg.
Are you ready to march?
We, in actuality, knew that the police were not our friends. We feared them as much as we would fear any thug.
Police were there to harass, intimidate, to act in a way as if they were still chasing freed slaves.
They had no respect, period. They'd be on the job drunk.
The police were in charge. That's it. There was no negotiating that.
I had never seen chaos like that before in my life.
When they wouldn't let the man have a drink in the bar, the word spread. It just erupted.
We was actually having warfare conducted against the people in our community.
Why does it look like it might be the year of the ballot or the bullet?
Things had gotten so tense that was a logical time for someone to run.
You had civil rights, the Black nationalist movement, but this movement right here was about Black political power.
Carl Stokes comes on the scene, and Carl, understanding the depth of what we were going through, said, don't get angry, let us really mobilize and let's come together. Dr. King's participation in the campaign was a threat to the efforts of Carl Stokes to get elected. And Carl knew that.
I decided that I was going right on over to Huff and meet with Mr. Ahmed, the Black nationalists of Cleveland.
I knew that Fred Ahmed Evans was a black nationalist and that he was one of the more radical black nationalists.
Dr. Martin Luther King had so much of the charisma that Carl Stokes had. In fact, they were two of a kind.
And people who ordinarily would not vote went out and voted for the first time. It was like a crusade.
The election of '67 was so exciting. It was more exciting to me than President Obama winning.
First black mayor of a major city right here in Cleveland, Ohio, and we were shouting and singing and dancing. The brothers was playing the drums.
Carl could relate. He came from that same situation.
And it was a beginning of new vistas and new horizons, but there was a curse connected to it.
There was always the presumption that somebody was spying on you.
Evans' activity and his objective was quite different from what Carl and all of us stood for. And then Ahmed Evans, he bought guns.
Self-defense is a human right.
And Carl Stokes, he carried with him a whole lot of hope, but then quickly it disappeared.
Nothing was changing with the people on the ground.
With no rules, no regulations.
Nothing was changing.
Boom, boom, boom. Joy, that was amazing. Let's give her another round of applause. Okay, next we have Reverend Hilton Smith. Coming up, he is the Senior Vice President for Corporate and Community Affairs for Turner Construction Company. Let's give him a round of applause.
Watching this reminded us, Mayor Bibb, for a whole lot of things. What we saw here and what the mayor was involved with was to see a Justin Bibb to become mayor one day of our city. I came here from North Carolina, interviewed for the job in the health department at my college. And I came here and began to work in the department, and I really, I had to just think and look at myself, coming here from North Carolina and working for Mayor Carl Stokes. He used to tell us, he said, anything is possible. And sometimes with tears in his eyes, he would say, look at me. And then we would sit there, Judge Johnson, and he would say, look at you and what you are now doing. And did I ever think that I would have a job here? And my job was to be over all the health centers in the city. And when I started doing that job, I said, Mr. Mayor, I don't know whether I'm really qualified. He said, I didn't ask you that. I know who you are. You got the job. And boy, I felt like I was somebody then. And so that's the kind of man he was. Impeccably dressed like Andrew Jackson. Mr. Mayor would say this sometimes. He said, brother, you look good. Your suit looks fine, but I've got a guy on 79th and Carnegie that can shine your shoes for you. And he was just that kind of man. But he was impeccable, he was fearless, and he treated all of us as his staff in one way. He wants you to know everything about the city, not just the department in which you're working, but know every department in this city, something about it, because you don't know who is going to ask you a question one day to see if you really know what you're doing and you know the departments in the city. And so that's how he was. He set me on fire to be the man I am today. If it wasn't for him, I would not have spent 45 years with Turner Construction Company, the largest construction company in this country. But he prepared me to do so. And when I went there, I was ready to go, Mr. Mayor, ready to work, ready to do just what he would want me to do, and that is to work hard, work fearlessly, and help somebody as you pass along the way. That was Mayor Carl B. Stokes. You had to help somebody because he knew if you weren't, because somebody would tell him. And he would call you in and say, hey, you've got to be responsible. And we were very responsible. And Jeff Marks was, I worked with him to satisfy some of the things that was going on in the health department. He was an outstanding lawyer for the law department. And so we really did a thing with the mayor because we thought we were somebody. And he made us feel like we were somebody. And we thank God for his legacy, and thank God for his family, thank God for him taking young people who had not worked in City Hall before, Brother Jackson, but you learn, you do well, know what excellence is, and let it go out in this community. And again, help somebody as you pass along the way. Thank you.
Next, we want to bring up my great friend, City Council President, Mr. Blaine Griffin. Oh, I'm sorry. Richard, you're filling in for Blaine. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm loving it. I'm loving the Alpha and Omega love. Okay. Yes, I'm loving it.
Mr. Council President, I did not do that. Make sure I get out the way first. Before I begin with a speech, I definitely want to make sure we acknowledge that Carl Stokes was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. And look at those little men over there today. Make sure give a round of applause, because they're showing up. You know, when you do this work of public service, you do need a team. And when you have brothers that can help you, you can get through anything you wouldn't like to deal with. What a deeply significant day this is for all of us. As the proud council member of Ward 5, the very community where Carl Stokes brothers grew, both Carl and Louis Stokes brothers grew up, I am genuinely honored to stand before you today in this inaugural June 30th. This day is dedicated to the cherished moment and memories and enduring legacy of a remarkable American pioneer, Mayor Carl B. Stokes. 57 years ago, in 1967, our beloved city of Cleveland made history. Carl Stokes was elected mayor, becoming the first African American to lead a major American city. This extraordinary achievement, which resonated across the nation, broke through barriers during a time fought with segregation and inequality. It was a shining beacon of hope that illustrated the profound possibility that arises when courage meets opportunity. Mayor Stokes' tenure was characterized by an unwavering commitment to uplifting the lives of all Clevelanders. He devoted himself to urban renewal, advocated for economic development in underserved neighborhoods, and worked tirelessly to bridge the racial divides that plague our communities. He recognized that true progress meant addressing the root causes of poverty and inequality, bravely facing the challenges that came his way. His visionary leadership not only laid the foundation for future growth, but also inspired countless individuals to pursue lives of public service and justice, just as Mayor Bibb and myself, Councilman Richard, started today. As we come together to celebrate this great day that we call Carl Stokes Day, we embrace the living legacy of history. We honor Mayor Stokes, not just for his extraordinary achievements, but for the lessons his life continues to impact. The importance of perseverance, vision, and the profound impact one individual can have a city and its people striving to be great. His journey serves as a reminder that while progress is often difficult, it is always worth the struggle. Let today be a heartfelt reminder of how far we've come and how much more we can achieve together. In honoring Carl Stokes, let us recommit ourselves to the values he championed: equity, justice, and unwavering dedication to crafting a brighter future for every Cleveland resident. May his legacy continue to inspire us as we work to build a city where each person can flourish and every voice resonates. Thank you. And in addition, on behalf of members of Cleveland City Council, we have presented a resolution of recognition. I shared so much information about Mayor Carl Stokes, I would not read the resolution as well. I want to make time for us to fellowship and just really honor him. But I definitely want you to understand that Mayor Carl Stokes, as well as his brother, Congressman Louis Stokes, they were born and raised in the Ward 5 in the Central neighborhood, the same area that I grew up in. And if you know anything about the city of Cleveland, if you can make it in Central, you can make it anywhere. And they are the pioneers who laid the foundation for all of us to be here today. So on behalf of Cleveland City Council, this resolution is here for the family as well as a presentation for all. Thank you.
Okay, we're keeping the show rolling. I like that. Okay, good. All right. Next we have coming to the stage is our own Cleveland Mayor Bibb. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. First of all, let's give Fatima Harris another big round of applause for her amazing leadership in making this event possible. And all the amazing public servants who work every day to move our city forward. You know, I think it is fitting that in just a few weeks after we celebrated Juneteenth in our nation and in our city, we are celebrating just a few weeks later, for the first time in our city's history, the first ever official day to celebrate the first black mayor elected in a major American city in Carl B. Stokes. And as a student of the Carl and Louis Stokes School of Government, let me tell you why that's important. Most folks in this country look at places like Montgomery and Selma as the birthplace of black political power and the birthplace of the civil rights movement. But I think starting today, the world is going to know that Cleveland is a birthplace of black political power in this country. Because as we reflect on all the great black mayors who came after Mayor Stokes, from Harold Washington in Chicago to Tom Bradley in LA, those mayors would not have been elected without the blueprint that started in Cleveland. Fast forward to 1984, then 1988, when then Jesse Jackson almost made history to become the first black men to win the nomination for the Democratic Party to become president of the United States. Now, he didn't break that barrier, but a few decades later, a state senator, then Senator Barack Obama, did break the barrier. So the arc from Stokes to Obama has been made way because of what happened in Cleveland. And as the youngest black mayor in this city's history, it is a humble but awesome responsibility to sit in this seat for such a time as this. Because all across the nation, there are black mayors leading this country, fighting the good fight, regardless of the chaos and the distraction-based politics that we see in DC right now, when they want to erase Black history from the history books, when they want to tell us that Black folks didn't have a major contribution on our nation, we are going to be an example in this city of always uplifting our history and always uplifting Black leaders in our community, because that's the work. That is the work. And so I just want to thank all of the amazing community leaders who made today possible. And I want to now bring up to the stage Cordell, Angela, and the entire family if they can. Lori as well. Come up on stage. I want to present a special proclamation honoring the first ever Carl B. Stokes Day in the city of Cleveland. Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, come on up. We got stairs over here too. We got stairs. Lord, we got stairs. I should have brought a red cover. That wasn't in the budget. Come on up. Come on up, guys.
Come on up on stage, baby.
All right. Okay. So, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Cleveland, I am honored to offer this proclamation celebrating Carl B. Stokes Day in the city of Cleveland. This day gives the city of Cleveland a meaningful opportunity to celebrate the life, leadership, and lasting legacy of one of our most influential public figures this city and this nation has ever seen. Congratulations to the Stokes family. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, everybody, let's give them another round of applause. That was great. So y'all got a question. Is it me or do y'all feel the love in the room? Y'all feel the love in the room? I know I do. This is beautiful. Every city can't say they can do this or in a position to do it. So let's just celebrate us here in the city of Cleveland. So can you turn to your neighbor and say, hey, thanks for coming out today. Turn to your neighbor to the left and the right. Thanks for coming out today. You know, y'all sit here like, because the truth is, some people really fought to get here. Some people fought to get here. Sometimes people may have a smile on their face, but you never know what they're dealing with behind the scenes. So it's always good to show love and just, you never know how far a smile can go. So just you smiling to your neighbor, how's your day going? Thanks for being here. Really probably made their day. So again, beautiful people, I'm excited to be here. So next we have coming up the Director of Sustainability, Ms. Sarah O'Keefe. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor to be with you here today. I'm going to build on the stories shared by Joy Roller, Reverend Hilton, Councilman Starr, and Mayor Bibb. As Tracy said, I'm the Director of Sustainability, but forgot a word. Climate justice is the other part. Thank you, Mayor. I'm here to share a few brief remarks about the leadership of environmental justice from Carl B. Stokes. A lot of you already know this, so bear with me, but if you don't, in 1967, Carl B. Stokes campaigned on environmental reform. But not simply for the health of the environment and nature. He advocated to have people at the center of that reform. During his administration, Mayor Stokes called out the need for clean water and clean air as being vital to the health and well-being of community members, and connected civil rights to the environmental movement decades ahead of others. From organizing a pollution tour in 1969, the day after the 13th and final time the Cuyahoga River caught on fire, And to testifying before U.S. Congress, Mayor Stokes led Cleveland to, in his own words, be at the forefront nationally in the battle against water pollution. Mayor Stokes also emphasized Cleveland's water resources as being vital to our local economy, and that has not changed. And pushed for air quality improvements, also has not changed. Check out our new updated air code that's being proposed. Today, you can see the legacy of Mayor Stokes' efforts embedded in our city operations, especially through the leadership in the Cleveland Division of Water and Cleveland's Public Health Department Division of Air Quality, to continually ensure clean water and clean air for Clevelanders. And the legacy of mayoral leadership in keeping people at the center of environmental action continues under Mayor Justin M. Bibb. Check out his little clip when you have a chance. What does it say, Mayor? Let's go with Stokes. Well, let's go with Mayor Bibb as we all face the threat of rapidly changing climate that impacts our daily lives. The current climate crisis is a cost of living crisis. It is an equity issue, and it's our most vulnerable communities that are paying the price. Cleveland feels climate change and heavier storms that disrupt services, cause damage and flooding. Cleveland feels climate change and warmer days that require more cooling and cause burden on our energy grids and on our residents' pocketbooks. Cleveland feels climate change and air quality that is worsened when temperatures rise and that increases health visits and costs to residents for their health. That's why Cleveland is doubling down on climate action, not just because it's good for the planet, but because it's good for our people. You have a snapshot of the updated climate action plan, either at your table or at this desk right here. I encourage you to take a look. There are quantified benefits that show that taking these actions will result in work, wealth, and wages for Clevelanders, including saving $2.2 million annually for residents on clean energy, preventing between 20 and 40 premature deaths annually and 76 new cases of asthma in the next 5 years, creating over 1,200 jobs annually in clean energy, clean transportation, and the built environment. These jobs and health benefits from climate action will simply improve Clevelanders' lives. So as we celebrate Mayor Carl B. Stokes' legacy, ensuring that justice for the most vulnerable Clevelanders at the core of our city's environment movement, we invite leaders in Cleveland, community members, to join Mayor Bibb and this administration to ensure Cleveland continues to be a thriving, equitable city on a blue lake. Thank you for your celebration today. Honored to be here.
Sarah, that was wonderful. I'm sure we all learned something. That was great. Okay, next coming up, we have Mr. Zach Reed, he is the Business Development Administrator in the Mayor's Office of Equal Opportunity.
Well, good afternoon. Before I make a few brief remarks, I just want to say, take a look at this picture right here. Now, I'm going to tell you how cool this man was. See, he got a blue shirt. Now, that back in probably the 70s, when people were wearing white shirts, this man's got on a blue shirt. That showed you how much class and dignity Carl B. Stokes had. Well, like I said, good afternoon. My name is Zach Reed, and I'm proudly serve as the Business Development Administrator in the Office of Equal Opportunity under the leadership of Mayor Justin Bibb and Tyson Mitchell, who could not be here today. I have over 17 years of experience as a Cleveland City Council person in Ward 2 that represented the Mount Pleasant and Union Miles neighborhood. I led initiatives in the urban revitalization, economic development, public policy, public safety, and community engagement. It is both my honor and my privilege to welcome you here today as we gather to celebrate the Carl B. Stokes Day, a day dedicated to commemorating the life, leadership, and enduring legacy of one of Cleveland's most transformative figures. In 1967, Carl B. Stokes made history as the first black mayor of a major American city. But more than a title, his leadership was a force for justice. He opened the doors of City Hall to black professionals, demanded police reform, invested in our neighborhoods, and stood boldly for civil rights, not just in words, but in action. His legacy is not just Cleveland's, but it's America's. Black people and women, well, I want to give you a few things that was done in his 2 mayoral terms. He opened City Hall employment to black people and women, making his administration the most diverse in Cleveland's history at that point. Listen to some of the things that he did. He appointed Cleveland's first black law director. He appointed Cleveland's first black safety director. He appointed a black woman to be a commissioner in the ranks here in City Hall. He established the Mayor's Office of Urban Development and supported policies aimed at providing equal access to city contracts and jobs. And that's what we do now in the Office of Equal Opportunity, OEO, for blacks and minorities-owned businesses. This is a quote I have from him, and I guess this goes for why I was a councilman, why we have black council people, black mayors, and others. This is what he said. I took the slings and arrows because I wanted to make the path easier for those who would come after me. I just want to give a story of privilege that I had as a kid that grew up in Mount Pleasant. There were times where no matter where you were at in Mount Pleasant, and many of you may know this, that Mayor Stokes lived on 147th in Mount Pleasant. And we know that Cordell knows this because he's a good pool player too. Carl B. Stokes loved pool, and he was really good. And on 128th and Kinsman was the Kinsman Bar and Grill, where he played pool. And no matter where you was at as a kid growing up, when you heard that Carl B. Stokes was playing pool at that pool hall, you raced down there, and at that you was too young to go in and get any drinks, so you just peered through the window because you just wanted to see Carl B. Stokes. I remember that day vividly. But I also want to say this. I know that we're honoring Carl B. Stokes, but I would say that he would say that he wouldn't be who he was if it was not for his brother, Lewis. And Congressman Stokes would probably say the same about he would not be where he was if it was not for his brother. But I would also gather to say that both of them would say that neither one would be where they would be if it was not for their mother. And in closing, let me tell you a story of the dignity that I never had the opportunity to meet their mom, but you saw it in the reflection of both those men. I had the honor to run against Cordell Stokes for city council. And Cordell, you might remember this day, and I know it came from your grandmother, that Congressman Stokes had retired. And he called myself and he called Cordell over to his office right in the Key Towers. And he sat us down. And he said, you two young men are going to run against each other and one of you are going to win. But let me tell you, we're not going to run this race like some people run. You're not going to talk about each other's mothers. You're not going to talk about each other. You're not going to defame the other. You're going to run a race. And to this day, I remember that conversation, Cordell. And I think that's why we're friends today. So I just want to say I honor Carl B. Stokes. I honor the Stokes family. I love you. I thank you. And on behalf of the Office of Equal Opportunity, thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Next, we have our youth presentation. We have coming up will be Devin Philpott. He is the youth leadership, he's the UC Leadership Spotlight. Devin is a graduate of Mayor Bibb's Junior Mayor's Program and is also a CMSD student. He will be sharing an artistic presentation honoring Mayor Stokes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Devin Philpott, and I'm 17 years old, and I attend Cleveland School of Architecture and Design, and I'm here to present my photography. Since I do photography, I'm here to present my tribute to Carter B. Stokes and his effect on me.
With the frustration, with the despair in the Central City today. You can't talk about what you're going to do 5 years from now or 10 years from now. That you have to do it now if you're going to hold these cities together.
My name is Marcia. I am 16. I'm going to the 12th grade and I attend Cleveland School of Architecture and Design.
So for our first question, how do you think Carter B. Stokes affect our youth now?
I feel like he made it to where it's more inclusive in our government, more people of color and more women.
For a second question, what are some traits you can take away from Carter B. Stokes?
You can take away being determined, like being able to put your word out there, like showing who you are. I feel like he did that as he was our mayor for 2 terms, and that kind of showed his dedication and what he wanted to do.
And for our third question, how do you see Carter B. Stokes in your everyday life?
There's landmarks all over Cleveland, like dedicated to him, highways, roads, buildings, so you kind of see him everywhere.
What's your name?
My name is Devin Philpott.
How old are you?
I'm 17 years old.
What high school do you attend?
I attend John Hare Architecture and Design.
What grade are you in?
I'm an upcoming senior.
Who is Carter B. Stokes?
Carter B. Stokes is a very, very known person, but people don't know him. He's a person that started basically black people inside like City Hall. He didn't start it, but he was the main one that actually start the move or to push the actual main push to put more people of all color into high status positions like City Hall or being president like Barack Obama.
What do you think Carter B. Stokes has done for yourself and also the youth of Cleveland, Ohio?
I feel like he gave me something to work with. I feel like he gave me the opportunity to be in different programs and different things that might be subjugated to different people of different races. He gave me something to actually be a part of. He gave me a platform, a position, and everything. It made it normal for me to be inside different things like that without getting looked at weirdly. The things he did for the youth, I believe he gave us something to work with. It's just about if we're going to accept it or not and run with it and actually keep his journey going alive.
If Carter B. Stokes was here with you right now, what would you have to say to him?
I would say thank you, because without him, I would not be able to record this video, or I wouldn't be able to do this project for City Hall. I wouldn't be able to be inside all these programs. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without him. To me, he made it seem like I belong there. So I'm going to keep fighting for me to be there because I belong to be there.
Devin, you did an outstanding job. It's so important for us to keep motivating, inspiring, and encouraging our youth, so keep going. All right. Next, we have coming up Mr. Cordell Stokes, Jovan Stokes, and their entire family. Already coming up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Javon Stokes Williams. I'm Cordell's daughter, the granddaughter of Carl Stokes. I am honored to stand here today with my husband, Kim, and our 3 children, the great-grandchildren of Carl Stokes, Milano, Kimberly, and Lariah. First and foremost, I want to express my deepest gratitude for this moment. On behalf of myself and my family, thank you for recognizing my grandfather with the establishment of an annual Carl B. Stokes Day. This recognition means more than words can express, and we are truly honored to be a part of it. While my brother Cordell Jr., he could not be here today, I know he shares in the same deep pride and appreciation for this tribute to our grandfather's life and legacy. Carl B. Stokes was a man of purpose. His groundbreaking role as the first Black mayor of a major U.S. city, along with his lifelong commitment to justice, law, public service, and civil rights, helped pave the way, not just for our family, but also for countless Black families and communities across this nation. His efforts created pathways of opportunity, visibility, and empowerment. Standing here today with my own children, I am reminded that his legacy is alive and thriving in them and in all of us. This day not only celebrates his past achievements, but affirms the lasting power of his vision for the future. I want to give a special thanks to Mayor Justin Bibb and Fatima Harris, and also Council President Blaine Griffin for their leadership and the dedication in bringing Carl B. Stokes legislation to life. And thank you for honoring this legacy, for keeping his name and mission alive, and for allowing us to be a part of this powerful moment in history. We are proud, we are grateful, and deeply moved. Thank you.
Good job. Proud of my baby girl. This is how it all begins anyway. For me, growing up under my father and my uncle, I always had to learn how to present publicly and how to be able to do presentations and to be in public eye. But I want to have all my family please stand. Stand up. And I want you to stand up and remain standing because, Mayor Bibb, you have truly humbled me over the last couple of months. You have been very supportive of our family, in particular my father. Your staff has been excellent, very availing, very appreciative of the work and efforts that they have done. And I thank you for your leadership, and you are going to have a very great legacy ahead. So let's give him an applause. I also want you to continue standing for Fatima Harris. Your vision, who could have ever thought of this day? I want to say thank you when we went to breakfast. It was honored to find out you went to Shaker too, and just your overall history. You're going to have a great future ahead of you outside of this building. The world is yours. And I want to say thank you for your vision and the work you put in to get this legislation passed, that Council President Blaine Griffin and City Council, which we want to give them an applause because they had to approve it. So I want to say thank you. Okay, y'all can have a seat. All right, thank you. Go on, baby. You have a seat. Let me share something that is not covered in today's ceremony. And that's both my father and my uncle had custody of all of their kids. It's no disrespect to our mothers, it just happened that way. For my father, I was primarily growing up in New York. And if you know anything about him, he used to be a middleweight champion in college. So the first thing he did growing up in New York, which was a very tumultuous time in the 70s, was to ensure I knew how to use my hands, which I did learn, and still today, if need be, would throw them things with the best of them. All right, so that was number one. Number two, he rode with me on the bus line to show me how to get to school. Then he took me on the subway to show me exactly how to handle subway travel. Even though in New York, where my stepbrother Sasha and I grew up, he's still my brother, we do a lot of walking. But you had to know how to maneuver around a city like New York. The other thing about my father is that when he would see me and my brother getting into it, he said, hey, no bar hold. You're gonna fight right here, get it over with. Unfortunately, you were on the other side of the victory. But I love you. Outside of that, there was a camp that was well known for people who were in sports, because I was basketball, football. It was based in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. So you would have a conglomerate of Boston, New York, and New Jersey kids of various ages, and one of the top playing individuals in that area. Every Father's Day, they would invite the dads to come up and stay over the weekend. And he did that every year. He would come up, stay with me, sleep on a bunk. Same time he was, he and Paul Udell were co-anchors at Channel 4. When I would get sick, and my father was a newscaster, he would pick me up in the Channel 4 van, and I would have to ride with him. He showed me how to cook so I could take care of myself. When he was having to go to work and I was by myself at home, I had to know how to handle cooking and feeding myself. When we got here to Cleveland, the first thing he told me was, number one, don't let anyone talk about your mother. And number two, if you have a real problem, you call me. So if you remember, we first got up to Woodbury, and one of the guys, because I really wasn't around Cleveland, wanted to get with me one-on-one. But the whole school seemed like at 2:40, they were all coming out to get me. So I called my father on lunchtime, talked to his bailiff at the time, I think it was Moreland, it was his last name. But the point is, I told him, I said, I get out of school at 2:45. And I said, I think that the school's gonna jump on me. Lo and behold, my father was driving a white K car at that time. His car was parked right out there in the gym. He had left court as a judge, and he made it clear to everyone, these two are gonna fight, no one else. And I took care of the business from there. But this is who Carl Stokes was. At the same time, the last story I'm going to give you, because it was very impacting. When I was playing football for Shaker, we were in the playoffs getting ready to play against St. Ed's. We were all hanging out up on 154th and Kinsman at a party, and when I came home, even though the coaches call, they call the players, make sure you're in the house at a certain time. We weren't, because we were starters. We already knew we were going to play. As soon as I got home, the top lock was locked. You remember that, Sasha? And he had a note says, go back where you came from. The next morning, so I had to run over to my partner's house. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. They let me in, so I stayed the night. When I got home, your mother was like, what did you do? He said, because he got out of here early. I was like, it is what it is. So I go up to the school to get ready for the playoff. The coaches called me into the office, tell me, he said, Stokes, GD, what did you do? He said, your dad just came up here and told me to make sure I dress for the game, but that I don't play. And lo and behold, it was a cold, rainy day, and I'm used to playing both sides of the ball. I go to the game, he's sitting in there in the stands as normal. Rain, sleet, snow. He stayed all through the game, ensured that I didn't play, and then walked off. Normally he'd come down and greet me, but obviously I was in a different position. But the point is, that's the Carl Stokes outside of politics trying to take care of his children, in particular me. So I just wanted to say to all of you again, thank you so much for all that you have done for my father, my uncle, the support, the love, and I just appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Let's give another round of applause for Cornell and Jovan. Those are wonderful stories. Thank you for sharing them with us. Next we have coming up Mr. Bob Render. He is with RLR3 and Associates. Let's give him a round of applause.
Cordell, you know I can't follow you. Mark Twain said that the two most important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you figure out why. If you don't know why, see Cordell, see the mayor, see Fatima, or see Philpott. They'll tell you. Why we keep lifting up Fatima. Fatima did not know Carl Stokes. She didn't know Lou Stokes. She didn't know George Forbes. She didn't know none of these folks. She went and did some research and was enthralled by what Carl had done. So once again, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Fatima Harris for her due diligence in proposing the celebration in honor of Carl Stokes to Mayor Bibb and his senior staff. Fatima, you're getting your roses real early in life. Then to Cordell Stokes for allowing me to manage the Carl Burton Stokes History and Legacy Project. The primary focus of the project is to establish the Carl B. Stokes Memorial Plaza and upgrade Carl's headstone. And if you've been there, it doesn't even say he was mayor. Then to digitize his archival papers that are at the Western Reserve Historical Society, and finally to support Tony Size with the conversion of the Stokes Room at Caramu into a state-of-the-arts conference center. The total goal is raising $1.4 million, to which approximately $200,000 has been raised through the generous support of Tim Tramble from St. Luke's Foundation, generous contribution from Cordell Stokes and family, Mayor Justin Bibb, County Councilman Pernell Jones, County Councilwoman Meredith Turner, our own Dick Pogue, Glenn Shoemate, Michael Bowen, Lewis and Trudy Stokes, and also a major pledge, I'm told, is coming from Cleveland City Council. Is that right, Councilman Starr? All right, it's coming. A special shout out to my associates of RLR3, Vicki Dansby, Barbara Brown, Rhonda Crowder, the steering committee, Kelly Falcone Hall, Kathy Goss, Glenn Anderson, Glenn Shoemate, Tim Tramble, Kermit Pike, and Michael Bowen. I've been blessed. I knew Carl, I knew Lou, I knew George, I knew Arnold Pinckney. And Cordell, I don't think I told you that. When my aunt left 135th and Kinsman, Gertrude Reed, she moved in Ernest Bond Tower. Well, who do you think was one of her friends? Your mom. Your father's mom, yes. So I'd go down there, Ernest Bond Towers, and then she'd be either her apartment or your grandmother's apartment. So I've really, truly been blessed. If you want to support this project, they handed you a pamphlet when you came in. And once again, Fatima, thank you. God bless you.
So did you all enjoy this event? Y'all can do better. Y'all enjoy this event. It was wonderful. Fatima, you did an outstanding job. Would you like to come up and say some final words? Well, thank you again for coming out. Thank you for all your love and support, and let's continue to make Cleveland great, and let's support this day moving forward. Carl B. Stokes Day.